All right, let's dive right in. If you are preparing for the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting exam, specifically syllabus 9706, you already know the stakes are incredibly high. The margin for error is razor thin, and time is never on your side in that exam hall. Today, in this masterclass explainer, we are focusing on a topic that literally catches thousands of students completely off guard every single year: the straight line method for the depreciation of non-current assets. Now, I know what you might be thinking. At its core, straight-line depreciation is pretty basic, right? It's simply allocating the cost of an asset evenly over its useful life. But listen, for this exam, we are going to look way past just memorizing that basic formula. As an examiner, I can tell you that top-tier candidates don't just know the math. They use specific, highly strategic cognitive frameworks to unlock the absolute highest tariff marks on their papers. We're going to deconstruct exactly how they do that, how they manage their time, and how they think critically under pressure.
The severity of this reality is actually pretty striking. Look at this insight straight from the principal examiner reports. They stated, the difference between a B and an A star in accounting often comes down to how well you understand depreciation of non-current assets. Think about that. We aren't just guessing about what might be on the test here. We have synthesized direct, unfiltered insights from the people who actually grade your papers. They're telling us exactly what they're looking for, exactly where candidates consistently drop those precious marks, and most importantly, what separates a merely competent average answer from a truly exceptional A-star level response that commands top marks.
So, here is our roadmap for this explainer. We will start with Section 1, the examiner's perspective. Then Section 2, the procedural framework. Section 3 covers critical analysis and method marks. Section 4 will expose the top 3 exam pitfalls, and we'll wrap up with Section 5, the closing checklist.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the examiner's perspective. This is all about understanding the command word anatomy and the cognitive domains that Cambridge is testing. Okay, so top-performing students absolutely do not just memorize accounting formulas. They demonstrate a deep, connected understanding that transfers effortlessly to entirely unfamiliar contexts. Examiners are assessing very distinct objectives here. First, there's knowledge and understanding, which we call AO1. That's knowing the definition, the formula, the basic facts. Next is AO2, analysis. This means breaking down a complex, maybe 15-mark sample question to see the causal relationships. And this brings us to command words. You have to deeply contrast analyze versus evaluate, and explain versus to what extent. When a prompt says analyze, you are isolating the data and explaining the what and why. But when it says evaluate, or AO3, that is where you have to judge, weigh the constraints of the prompt, and justify your decisions. But here is the real secret. The ultimate differentiator is cross-topic integration. Principal examiner reports repeatedly highlight that candidates who reference cross-topic connections, say tying a straight-line depreciation decision explicitly back to the concept of prudence or the accruals concept, achieve significantly higher marks. Why? Because it proves comprehensive, conceptual mastery of the entire syllabus, not just a single chapter.
Moving right along to Section 2, the procedural framework. This is the unbreakable, systematic sequence you need when you're staring down a massive, intimidating question.
You need to internalize the standardized 6th-step sequence to tackle complex problems. Step 1, deconstruct the question. Literally highlight the command word. Step 2, extract relevant data. Don't miss the residual value hidden in a footnote. Step 3, select the analytical framework. Step 4, execute with clear notation. Step 5, verify your results. And Step 6, present with correct terminology. Now, to really illustrate this, I was recently running a digital study suite with 2 scholars, let's call them Alex and Sam. We were working on a high-tariff question, and they had a massive debate over how to lay it out. Alex is highly technical, a total whiz at formulas. So for Step 4, Alex just wanted to dump the math on the page. But Sam is a creative thinker, strong at arguments, and focused heavily on Step 6, the presentation and the conceptual narrative. Sam rightly pointed out that just throwing numbers down doesn't unlock the top-tier marking bands. They realized that Step 4 is absolutely vital because of the method mark strategy. Even if your final math goes slightly wrong, maybe you punch the wrong key on your calculator under stress, clear, step-by-step notation guarantees you capture those crucial method marks awarded simply for demonstrating the correct process. Sam and Alex finally agreed. You need both the technical execution and the structural precision.
This brings us to Section 3, critical analysis and method marks. We are shifting from basic procedure to the highest tariff strategy. Listen closely, because examiners actively look for a specific problem-solving loop in your longer essay-style answers. Deconstruct, solve, evaluate, and recommend. It is absolutely not enough to just calculate the straight-line depreciation charge. The syllabus demands that you take those given figures, solve them systematically, check the figures for reasonableness within the context of the business, and then make a completely justified recommendation based on that evidence. This loop is the true hallmark of an A-star student. In my session with Alex and Sam, we actively drafted a model response paragraph by paragraph on the board. They hit a major roadblock right at the evaluation stage. They couldn't figure out how to link their calculation back to the business's cash flow. I paused their session and told them, look at the loop. You've solved it, but you haven't evaluated what this non-cash expense means for the company's retained earnings. Once they grasped that cognitive strategy, we rewrote the flawed section out loud, and they went from a mediocre, fragmented answer to a flawless, full-mark response.
Let's break down why that rewrite worked. Many students confuse analysis with evaluation. An analytical statement merely identifies relationships based on extracted data. For instance, Alex initially wrote, "The straight-line method results in a constant depreciation charge of $10,000 per year, which steadily decreases the net book value." That's solid, sure, but it's only analysis. An evaluative statement questions assumptions, considers different perspectives, and justifies decisions. With a little coaching, Sam helped upgrade that sentence to an evaluative response. While the straight-line method provides a constant charge, it assumes the asset's economic benefits are consumed evenly over time. However, for this specific manufacturing machinery, a reducing balance method might actually be more prudent, as maintenance costs will undoubtedly rise in later years, which would distort the matching principle. Do you see the profound difference there? The evaluative statement justifies a specific strategic perspective using concrete accounting evidence.
Building on that evaluation, top-tier comparative analysis demands you identify both similarities and differences. When asked to evaluate straight-line depreciation against another method, you must actively use comparative connectives like whereas, on the other hand, or conversely. You support each comparison with evidence from the stimulus data, and then, this is the critical key, you draw firm conclusions about their relative importance to the business in question. Never just list two definitions side by side. Connect them. Now, right before we jump into the interactive workshop to look at the hardest part of these exams, the actual pitfalls, I want to give you a quick reminder. If you want to consistently unlock these Cambridge breakthroughs, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels. That's at acetheexam_IGCSE. Enable all notifications so you literally never miss a weekly strategy session. All right, let's get back to it. Let's move into Section 4, the top 3 exam pitfalls. These are the exact traps set by examiners.
The principal examiners noted 3 incredibly common, yet heavily penalized, mistakes year after year. Number 1, using the wrong approach for the specific context. Number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. Careless, easily avoidable errors like mislabeling your income statement or statement of financial position. And number 3, which is perhaps the most destructive to your final score, providing generic, non-specific answers. Let's do a quick immersive pause and practice workshop right now. Imagine a complex data chart on your screen detailing a tech company's server farm. I'm starting a 60-second visual countdown in your mind. The data shows rapid technological obsolescence. If you automatically apply a 10-year straight-line depreciation without stopping to think about the context of servers degrading in 3 years, you've just fallen into trap number 1. You have to analyze the source data deeply before you even pick up your calculator.
This leads us directly into what examiners ominously call the generic answer trap. Here is our second pause and practice scenario. Spot the flaw. A student writes an entirely factually correct paragraph about how straight-line depreciation is easy to calculate and allocates costs evenly. What are the errors? Well, they apply general accounting theory without referencing the prompt. That puts a strict, unbreakable ceiling on their marks. A context-specific answer links every single point directly to the given scenario. If the problem is about a delivery van for a local bakery, your answer better specifically mention the delivery van and the bakery's daily usage patterns, not just generically refer to the non-current asset. Always explicitly link your points back to the exact business scenario provided in the exam text. Context is king. Finally, we reach Section 5, the closing checklist. This is your game plan for the final 5 minutes of the exam. Let's synthesize this entire masterclass into 3 core, memorable pillars for your final 5 minutes. First, the 3-step question scan. Verify your cross-topic connections. Did you mention prudence or matching? Second, the paragraph balance formula. Check your format, precise presentation, and standard Cambridge terminology. Are you evaluating, not just analyzing? And third, the last 5 minutes review checklist. Ensure absolutely all points link explicitly to the specific context of the question.
At the end of our Digital Suite session, both Alex and Sam had major personal breakthroughs. Alex realized that formulas without context are useless, and Sam learned that brilliant arguments need precise, step-by-step mathematical evidence to score high. The only way to make this checklist second nature for yourself is to practice past paper questions consistently using the exact procedural framework we covered today.
I will leave you with this final, provocative thought. You now know exactly what the examiners are looking for. You know the cognitive domains, and you know exactly where other students fail. So, how will you adjust your exam strategy today to ensure every answer you write is purely context-specific? Think deeply about it. Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. I highly encourage you to immediately implement these changes into your study routine. And remember, if you want to master these exams, hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell for future exam hacks and leave a comment down below with your target grade right now so you can hold yourself accountable. Thanks for joining this explainer and keep practicing.